And we're live. Hello and welcome everyone. It's time for the first live stream of 2025 on IT Career in Australia channel. And I'm really excited to kick off another year of insightful discussions with you. So today we are diving into a hot topic, is AI actually rejecting your job application? There's a lot of talk about AI in hiring. Some say AI is automatically rejecting candidates, while others argue that human recruiters looking to every application. So what's really happening behind the scenes? Does it actually reject applications or is it a myth? Let's explore how much control AI-driven systems really have and whether job seekers are maybe overestimating its role, and maybe some reasons resumes gets screened out, and how we can actually help job seekers to adapt their resumes for AI-driven systems. So, and of course, we'll maybe even discuss where AI can help rather than actually hinder job seekers, and what the future of AI in recruitment looks like. So make sure I have your questions ready. Obviously, it's a really hot topic of 2025. And of course, don't forget to introduce yourselves in the comments. Let us know what you do and join our conversation, or at least say hi. Make sure to say hi, because if you're not saying hi in the comments, I don't know that you're here, and that's not good. I want to know that you're here. And I'm Jana Martins, if you forget, because you didn't see me in January and missed me for like 6 weeks. So, and if you're not connected with me on LinkedIn, please make sure to connect with me on LinkedIn. And as usual, just quickly remind you, if you are watching on LinkedIn, also consider to subscribe to YouTube channel. And also, if you in Australia, especially in Melbourne, make sure to join my meetup group as well, so you don't miss the future events. And we also do great face-to-face events in Albert Park and Lake too. So especially if you're in Melbourne, would love to meet you face-to-face too. Anyway, without further delays, let's jump into the topic. We start with the quick introductions of our panelists today. We'll start with Edan, please.
Hello, everyone. I'm seeing so many names pop up saying hi. So, and Jana, thank you so much for having me here today. I'm a huge fan, as you know, and I'm excited to have a chat to the audience. Now, my name's Edan Haddock. I am the head of talent for Movember. I am the only talent person at Movember, and I look after Movember globally. So it's Australia, US, UK, Canada, Ireland, New Zealand. So I just noticed someone from New Zealand. So there we go. If there's anyone internationally, I do look after Movember globally. You'll also see Rubber Band under my name. That's a networking group for recruiters, and it's how I kind of keep across everything that's going on in the industry, aside from, chatting to people like you two, Marrin and Jana. But yeah, thanks everyone. It's so great to be here, and welcome. I'm so glad you've joined.
Thank you.
Hi everyone. Really happy to be here. Thank you for having me on, Jana, and lovely to be with Edan again. We caught up in ATC a little while ago, but I look after all the talent sourcing team for Fonterra. We are a small team. We sit pretty much in the business looking after the criticality roles. We used to work very functionally, but now it's all just we're critical because industries are changing, tech's changing, and all the rest of it. And our sources work globally for the business, so it doesn't matter where the role is. And yes, we are New Zealand, so the New Zealand person, welcome. Definitely good to see you. We sit in the business, probably trying to sit ahead of the business, if anything. So a lot of our talent sources will be working with the leaders way ahead. So we sometimes see recs before they land, or jobs before they land, or speaking with the leaders before it actually sits on a recruiter's desk. So yeah, it's a lovely team, and it's we're completely AI. We're completely AI. So I'm loving this chat that's going to happen today.
Perfect. We have quite a few people joining and saying hi. So I moved from New Zealand to Perth, Vinit, and Fiali is in Melbourne, so it's definitely few people.
Go James.
Fundraising for a member. Here we go.
Nice one, James. Love it.
There you go. We have people joining us from Pakistan. We have James from Tokyo. So definitely quite a few people joining us today. James saying missing the in-person event. Yes, the new another tech walking is coming. So don't worry. It's in 2 weeks. Hopefully I can walk by this time. So I don't know. Some of you knows that I'm actually waiting for my knee reconstruction. So I couldn't walk our last tech walk. So interestingly organized tech walk and couldn't walk. But guys, yeah, the tech walking is going ahead and we're going to do it now on 23rd of February. Hopefully I can walk by then. Hopefully. Let's see. Definitely some lifestyle changes. But I can still do live streams. So, let's get into it. And I guess the first question is the question that in our topic is AI actually rejecting application, or is this a myth? So I've seen a lot of posts on LinkedIn arguing about it, and some recruiters say that they manually reviewing all the resumes, and it's always will be like that human touch. But there's a lot of people who are saying like, oh, I just applied to the role, I get the rejection like in 2 seconds later. It's obviously like, AI rejecting me straight away. So, I can't get rejected so quickly if it's a human. So, what do you think? And who wants to go first to answer that question? All right, let's start with you.
All right. So, okay. Yeah. All right. I'm good. And look, this may be a conflict against what Edan may think, but I am definitely aware that there are probably some companies out there that do, where they can feel that they can hire someone purely off a CV, tick it and flick it forward. But what I will say from the get-go, if that is the case, then they shouldn't be in the industry. Without the human element involved in what we do, and when we are in the business of people and nurturing people and identifying talent and all the rest of it, if you haven't had a human connection or a contact on some way, even if it's an email, just some sort of connection there, then realistically you can't put someone forward for a role. In saying that, yes, look, there are systems that do reject on that, and what that is where the system has identified that whatever you've got on your CV may not have been identified as what is a key skill for the role. So if they're looking for someone with SAP and you don't have SAP in there, and it's an absolute must-have for the role, AI can probably reject it. That's definitely a scenario. The other one might be location, where they need you in a certain location. So it might say straight away, not available there. My question around that is, if that is the case, then sometimes it's still worth a conversation, right? Because what if that person is looking to move to that new location? What if they're from there, they want to go back? In New Zealand and Australia, how many times do you see someone go from New Zealand to Australia, or they're in Australia and they want to go home and all the rest of it, but it says Australia on their CV, right? So yeah, look, there's definitely the ATSs that do it, and there are definitely probably recruiters out there that do it. I highly recommend to avoid if they don't want to speak with you. It's probably not the right job or the culture or the company you want to be involved with, because they're not probably investing in their people. But the automatic rejection is probably more just to conduct a quick check and test of, do you have the skills? And look, if you don't have certifications or degree requirements, that may be why you're also being rejected as well.
And also, like, sometimes the automatic rejection is not even AI. It's just the few questions that just been asked. Are you located here? Do you have this experience? And it's not even AI involved. It's just a simple pre-filtering.
Exactly.
Edan, what do you think? Like, do we see more of rejections through AI?
Yeah, it is a controversial topic. I just want to say I do agree with that, Jana. I don't think this is a new thing, right? I think this is something that has been in place prior to the AI, let's call it, revolution that is happening at the moment. I think we are, we're in a world, people will say this is the world of AI that we're living in now, 2025. But to Marrin's point there, and I saw some comments in the chat soapbox as well around this. We're also in the world of human skills, right? Like, we need to remember, why would recruiters be embracing AI? And really it is to take away from the manual processes. Now, the number one manual activity that a recruiter does is screen through CVs, right? And that can be hundreds of them. That's probably the number one time investment for a recruiter, whether that's doing outreach via LinkedIn and screening through profiles, whether that's looking at applications that have come through a job advertisement or what have you. For most of us, it's a combination of both. So that's probably our most manual, repetitive task. Do ATSs reject applications? This is the controversial part. I say yes. I say they do. But I think, to Marrin's point, a good organization with good values and good culture and who is embracing AI in the right way will have at least human intervention involved in their AI. I think, we do have processes within our ATSs that will rate candidates. That's one thing to consider. And it may disqualify candidates, and people like myself and Marrin will then go through those disqualified ones to make sure they are people that we wouldn't want to talk to, right? I think that's best practice in 2025. We're on a journey of trust when it comes to AI. It's like that friend that you met 12 months ago that, you're really getting to know now, and you're really starting to tell them all your intimate secrets because you've built up that trust. We're still on that journey of trust. So I don't think we're, as, ethical recruiters, we're not in a position to trust a machine to automatically reject without that human touch that Marrin mentioned. So there are people out there, and you'll see influencers out there that will say this is a myth that's debusted. There's no way a system can reject automatically. It doesn't happen, blah, blah, blah. You'll see influencers that will say, copy and paste the CV into white text in the PD into white text in the background so it picks it up, right? And it matches you. Neither of those are correct.
Because you started that topic. Let's maybe tackle this myth straight away, because I definitely have seen it on like Instagram and stuff. There's or even on LinkedIn, that advice of copy and paste position description, make it white, that ATS will pick up all the keywords that you need. Or I even seen the advice of write the prompt for AI, make it, paste it in your resume and make it white. So then AI is screening the resume. It's basically say, hire me, yeah? and we'll choose you. So what do you think? Is that a myth, or we can use those tricks to get the resume through that screening system?
Oh, Marrin, what do you think? I'm going to say myth entirely. I'm going to say don't do it, but I'll let you go, Marrin.
Putting a prompt in there, I would say, is probably not going to be your answer. However, in saying that, you do have to invest time in your CV, right? If you are looking to be identified, whether it be by the recruiter or by the system, there's key stuff that needs to be in there, right? So if you can, through the summary or through the achievements or through those sort of areas within your CV, have identified that what you have been doing and rolling out, and what systems you're working on, and what processes you put into play, and what role you're doing, and the size of the teams you're looking after, that's the stuff that is going to be on the original JD or PD that the recruiter is going to be looking for you to have. So yeah, I'd say work on your CV, help it get identified. We all know there's SEOs out there, right? That their paid job is to make that website rank. It's exactly the same for your CV. Yeah. It needs to rank, and for it to rank, you need to get the right details into it. So I'd highly recommend looking at it. There's prompts out there to improve your CV. I'm just not sure whether putting an actual prompt into it will get you identified. We saw for years, right, where people would put 400 keywords at the bottom of their CV just so that it would get picked up, right? And then when you look back at the CV going, well, that's not even in there. Show me where that is in actually what you did. But they just wanted to be picked up, right? They just wanted the system to pick up and get them registered. So yeah, look, it's something that I think the investment needs to be in making sure what you are presenting. It's your first chance, right? That's your first opportunity in front of a recruiter or an ATS system or AI to go, hey, look, I need to be identified. I am doing that, and let me show you. And that's really important. So having those on your CV is going to be the difference. So I'd be investing time into that before I apply.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, and I think it's really great advice. Blanket CVs are probably not a good idea in 2025. I think tailoring your CV to the position that you're applying for is more and more important now. So the ATSs will pick up on skills matches and experience matches. To your point, it can pick up on location as well, but we tend to, good ethical recruiters tend to, but things like your, but on that note, I will say, if you don't have the right, visa status, et cetera, that may auto disqualify you. But that's always been the case pre-AI, right? We've always had that screening question in our applications where you need to, have legal rights to work in Australia. Otherwise, obviously, we can't shortlist you. But I think from my perspective, it's to look at your application where you're not trying to beat a system, to the point that was just raised there. This is really all about representing yourself to the company and the position that you're applying to in the best possible light that you can, right? And to the point, I work for very much a purpose-driven organization, right? We're a charity and we're all about changing the face of men's health, and we want to attract people that want to do the same. So I want to hear about that, and that's where the human element comes in. So my ATS, or applicant tracking system, can screen based on your skills and experience. It can rank you. It can give you a 5-star review, all of that kind of stuff it can do based on what you've submitted. But for someone like me, I want to know the why as well. So my advice there is that human connection is still there with people like myself and Marrin's team and Jana. We want to learn as much about you as possible, and the applicant tracking system is really there as a tool to enable us to do it more effectively and faster, to ensure that we're getting the right outcome for you as a candidate as well as us as an organization. So yeah, it's.
Yeah. And coming back to that, sorry, Marrin, I don't know if that my question is what you wanted to add, but Edan already mentioned the keywords or the skill match and things like that. But have you seen AI sort of rejecting on other things? Like, for example, like I think there is a question from the audience, like, for example, career gaps, unconventional career paths, transferable skills. Because if AI only looking for the keywords and maybe your previous roles not coincide with that, like you're more likely to be rejected. Like what other things AI usually algorithm will take in consideration?
Yeah,
you go, Marrin. Sorry, mate.
No. Please start. Go for it.
I would just want to say, look, I haven't seen career gaps. I think it's important when you're writing your CV to, if you do have a career gap, and I think most of us do at some stage in our career for whatever reason, right? There's always going to be a gap. It's to highlight and explain why, and then that really is being identified by the system as just like another role, right? There's a moment in time where you were a primary carer. There was a moment in time where you were on parental leave, whatever that might be. So just putting that in there with your dates. I haven't seen a system, and I would be probably pretty outraged by a system that does, but if you've got overlaps in dates and things like that, we're going to pick that up if the dates don't make sense and they don't match your LinkedIn profile. But at the moment, I don't know if I'm right or wrong, Jana and Marrin, I don't think there's really that, sense checking between LinkedIn and an ATS that's identifying that and screening people out. But probably will come. That's a really clever idea.
I've never seen systems pick up on gaps in CVs. I don't think that I don't really even think it is a thing. If anything, when it gets to the point of the recruiter saying, let's catch up, I want to do a bit of a screening with you, or I want to interview you, or whatever not, It may be brought up as a question then, but I've never seen an ATS do it on that level. I have seen ATSs pick up, different careers that are in there. So say they've changed career, that happens a lot, you know. I mean, recruiters look for that also because they look for transferable skills and they look for all the lovely stuff of going, oh my God, she was doing that over in this industry and she's doing it over in this one as well. So if anything, that's a plus for recruiters and sourcers. You go, oh my God, how good is it that her skills are that great? She can work here in that industry and can work with it in that industry. So if anything, it's a plus and it's not looked at negative. But just to the answer a question, I've never seen an ATS go, there's a skill gap, there's a gap there. Where are they? What have they been doing in that three months are away? But yeah, it's not something that I've ever seen picked up.
And Edan, maybe it's a question for you because we mentioned that in November, the covers letter is quite important because it's a purpose-driven organization. So yeah, what about covers letter? How are we gonna screen covers letters with AI? So
I think the cover letter is, and people are probably going to disagree with me in the industry. I'm seeing a rebirth, and I'm very passionate about the cover letter. If you would have asked me this 18 months ago, I would say, oh, the cover letter's dead. Don't worry about it. I read them. I read every single one of them. And because we want to attract people in that want to come to Movember to do good in the world, right? And I want to know why. Your CV's probably not going to tell me that apart from maybe an introductory summary. But what I love working for Movember is that I read applications with cover letters and people talk about their personal journeys. They talk about perhaps, a father that went through prostate cancer, and the reason they would love to come to Movember out of a big corporate is because they see the value in the work that we do. It could be someone who said, I lost my brother to mental health and I want to come and make a difference because I feel that is just something that would be a tribute to my brother that I lost, and I want to be a part of what you do because what you do is so powerful and so important. Now, there's so many comments here about human touch on the side. Now, that's human touch without speaking to me, right? It's tapping into my emotions. It's tapping into me understanding the why you've applied for this role. And I'll immediately go, I need to look at this CV in more detail, right? So regardless of whether an ATS has ranked you as a 2 stars versus someone that's a 5 stars, if I see a cover letter, I'm going to read it. Now, this could be a different scenario, and Marrin, I'd love to hear your thoughts. I mean, I'm in a unique industry, right, where there is an emotive connection to the people that come to work with us. They come to work with us for a reason, for the most part, right, because they're connected to our cause. And that might be a little bit different to, let's say, a role where it's all around online gaming or cryptocurrency or whatever it might be, that's all about, making money. Maybe they won't read the cover letter because they're looking for really strong technical skills, and maybe that purpose connection isn't as strong for them, and it's not necessarily what they look for. But I think my advice there, sorry, I'm rambling on. I think my advice is, if you are going for a role that, if there is a purpose connected and there's a reason you're applying for that particular role with that particular company, chances are they'll read the cover letter.
It's definitely making a comeback.
Yeah,
I have seen it. I have. You were spot on. I think in the last, I'll say 6 to 8 months, it's been a massive change in that. And I don't know whether that's Gen Z coming through. I don't know what that is, but there is definitely an influx of it. And I love it. I think the sources love it as well. I probably don't read as many as I should, because most of the stuff we're trying to find is the tech, right? You're trying to understand, do they have the tech and all the record? However, when it comes down to the outreach and the actual time to connect, what's more lovely than the fact that they've written in their cover letter, hey, look, I'm looking after my sister and on the afternoons. If you can contact me in the morning, that'd be fantastic. And then straight away, you've got a conversation. How you going? How's your sister? What are you looking after her? Does that affect your work? All that stuff can come out of a lovely cover letter, which you're not going to get in the CV. So recruiters it'd be crazy not to read them. In my space with the sources, I know they love it, because a big part of Fonterra is the nurturing piece of candidates, right? whether they're rejected, whether they get the role, whether they're silver medalist and then are made unsuccessful because there was a better candidate at the time. All those reasons, that nurturing piece is very, very, very important. So we also capture the cover letter. It's really important, not only our notes, not only our conversation, not only availabilities and all that lovely stuff, but that cover letter is pretty important. So yeah, I'm a big one for it. Like I said, I probably don't read as many as I should, but there it is, definitely making a comeback. And I think there's a lot to leverage off it, because if a CV is attached and it does have a cover letter in it, in a lot of the systems, as we know now, which is about the topic about and AI is driving a lot of this, the back end of this, it's going to pick up on that too. So it's going to pick up on the fact that, to your point, my dad had cancer, or, I've been on a bit of a caring time, had to look after my mum, or, all that stuff. It's going to pick up on that. So if you said, what behavioral questions could I ask this person based off their CV and cover letter, which is what we do in sourcing when we use prompting and all the rest of it, there's a lovely answer where you can talk to them about this. How did they find that? What's going to be their challenges coming back to work now? So some really cool stuff can come out of it.
Yeah, and then Tibo is actually saying ATS will likely soon have a built-in AI detectors. You already have access to many plug-in ads in the browser. So a cover letter written tailored for a role, wicked way to stand out. Depends on the industry, probably doesn't apply to everyone. But yes, definitely. And also with the cover letters, how many times you open a cover letter and it says like, to whom it may.
Yeah.
And then just like that standard dear hiring manager, like you don't read those ones.
No, that's right.
So if the cover letter, if the cover letter doesn't have that personal touch again, and that sort of human language, it's definitely the standing out point. So because if the person is sending the same cover letter by just changing company name and one sentence, or is actually took time to look at the organization and did a bit of a research and understand what's the values of your organization and why the person actually want to join.
Yeah.
And like another question from me, obviously we're talking about AI rejecting applications or not, but also on the flip side, because we have so many AI generated resumes, I think it's kind of fair to screen resumes with AI as well, because it's so much easier for people to tailor the resumes. So it's obviously, where is the chicken and where is an egg? And for example, I know from my experience, I start avoiding advertising jobs more because the volume of the application is higher. So I don't want to get flooded with the applications anymore because there's too many applications that, generated and things like that. So we're coming back to that human touch. Have you noticed that trend, like that, because with so many AI generated applications, maybe, we start looking at the different ways of hiring or?
Yep. It's so interesting. And someone was mentioning this the other day on a post on LinkedIn regarding, there are now platforms that job seekers can basically attach their CV and it will automatically apply to any role that they feel is relevant, and will basically just shoot your CV out to hundreds and hundreds of vacancies, across whichever continent you're on. I wouldn't say I'm necessarily... I don't know. I'm not really picking up on too many AI written CVs personally. And I think it's really because when I look at them, they're probably those ones that aren't necessarily relevant. If I'm hiring in technology, if I'm hiring in impact and research and, our Mo Institute and that side of the business, but I know a lot of people are. Right. So I think, we might be a little bit unique. I will say with REA, where I was previously, and those that are international and unaware of it, it's Australia's largest real estate property listing board, which is primarily a technology business. We were seeing them. So I think it's, it's probably dependent on industry. And depending on how savvy the job seeker is, right? You could argue that they're being savvy if they're using a tool like that to shoot their CV off and playing a numbers game. But you can also argue that they're not savvy because they're not doing a human-centered
job tailoring, yeah.
right? It just, it's interesting. I don't know, Marrin, what about you? You seeing many?
If we are, they're quite easily detected, right? So please avoid it. We've seen CVs come through that straight away you can pull it apart and go, that's been written by AI. There's AI detectors out there, right? And some ATSs have them built in. And it looks for simple things, repetitive conversations, doubling up on keywords, starting with the same answer on the sentence. Like it's just crazy how easy it can be detected. So please avoid it if you can. There's lots of companies out there that are selling it to the companies as well to detect AI within the doing it. Universities are rife in it with their submissions and all their people that are doing all their work. So it is growing within all the industries that basically it's going to be picked up. It's going to be detected more. It's like when you look at LinkedIn posts, right, and you see that same starting sentence in an ever-evolving, you go, oh my God, here we go again. You see that all the time and you go, look, please, can you just be human, just be real and write what you really think. I'd rather have someone challenge me because they don't agree with me than me post something up because it's going to please the world, right? And it's going to be something that's just amazing. The other thing is to keep in mind is that if you do end up using AI to do it, please read what you're doing before you post. The amount of times people just copy and post, and I'll tell you that there's some of the stuff that goes up. I've seen marketing companies do it, and they've just posted something straight up, and the details are wrong or something's wrong. Remember, you have to justify what is on there. So if you think you're going to get past the ATS because you've got this great GPT written CV, when it gets to the screening, they're going to ask you about that. They're going to question you about that. They're going to dig deeper into that. They're going to ask you when you did it and how you did it and how many people you led when that happened. So it's not advantageous to basically get AI to make you look fluffy, nice and warm and cuddly just to get you across the line. The thing is that people hire on skills and they hire on culture and they hire on those things. So it's important that you be personal in your CV and be real and type it yourself and all the rest of it. If anything, get AI to help you with, expand on this, or how can I make that sound better? Or I'm not writing this professional. Can you do all those sort of things? But realistically, if you do just pump up a CV that has been created by AI, 9 times out of 10 will be picked up. It's a horrible thing to read on our end, I'll tell you that.
And I think you're right. Like, I think this is about embracing AI, Marrin, right? And I saw some comments coming up. Sorry, I'm reading all of your comments because I'm learning from you.
So many comments,
at the same time. They're really fabulous. I think, embrace AI in terms of pulling your CV together. This isn't all about starting from scratch and having to write something. I mean, we're talking about how we're embracing AI, and we are in a lot of different areas outside of application throughout the talent acquisition life cycle, interviewing, for example. But get it to do the bones of your CV, get it to do the formatting for you. All of that stuff you don't have to do, but then rewrite, reread, rewrite, plug it in, get it rewritten again. Just take that time. And I think to make sure that you're tailoring it for each application and making sure it's got that personal touch for the organization you're applying for. I think it's time to move away from the numbers game, if that's what your I suppose strategy is when you're job seeking. I mentioned that crazy scenario of a product that's able to send it out to hundreds of companies. I think pinpoint those roles that you need. And I know that can be really hard, particularly if you're in between roles and you're really desperate to get into the workforce, but do still take that effort to tailor it. So embrace AI. But bring in that human element. Never just send it straight out, I suppose, is what I'm trying to say there.
It's a good
Natalia has a good comment here. Lots of jobs don't care much about your heart. Let's be real, but about the skills and the salary you're looking for.
Yeah.
What do you, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. But I think, Natalia, I think that's a really great thing to raise. And I think it's really identifying from your perspective. I always advise people when they're applying for roles to jump on a careers page and read the company values. If an organization doesn't care much about your heart, they're probably not really a values alignment, Natalia. I would say have a look at the next role that you can find and see whether it does. I think it's pretty obvious to be able to find out which of the organizations are more about, whether it's that they're wanting to pay you less, is what I'm assuming you're saying there with salary, and yes, about the skills, but an organization that I would want to work for would also care about their people and their culture and have strong values. So yeah, I wouldn't be disheartened by some of those jobs that you've seen, Natalia, and the experiences that you had, because I like to think that it's hopefully in the minority, but I know it's out there. We all do.
Yeah, we've all had that experience of the roses on the poster, and you go inside and you go, this is not what they sold me. And that's usually because they haven't really invested in that culture piece, where the vision doesn't match the values. And we've all had experiences like that. And I can tell you now, I'll back you 100%, Eden. I wouldn't even be entering it either. If that's as simple as it is to get down to that, I guarantee you can start the job, you can enjoy the job. You may be there for a period of time, but when something goes wrong in your life, and it happens to all of us, there's no such thing as normal. Things happen in people's lives, right? And when it happens, then you'll see what the real business is about. And they may not care enough to give you time off for it, or they may push you to work other hours, and you're trying to look after a sick child or all that sort of stuff. That's what you should be looking for in your companies. Fonterra is massive on it. To the point where that whole nurturing piece is about us understanding you on the way in and understanding what your journey is once you're in there, and also developing your journey where you want to go next within the company. So it's really, really important. But if you do get into the companies, read their sites, read what they're about, and make them accountable to it. If they say that they will do this and they're all about work-life balance, ask them about it, and you'll quickly find out. You got to remember, the recruiter is the face of that entire company. That's the first person you're meeting. So if you don't feel valued or nurtured or getting the right answers, or you feel you're being just looked over and skimmed and asked about your skills and how much money you want, then really I'd be second guessing whether I'd continue with the interview.
Yeah. And just the quick ones, Smile was saying, writing with Z instead of S is a good indicator of use of ChatGPT. I only say Australian spelling. Every time I start a new prompt, I'm like, use Australian spelling. And here we go. So, if you're not using that, especially if you recently moved to Australia, make sure prompt ChatGPT for Australian spelling every time.
It is a good one.
It is. I've got to try not to fall in that trap, though, because I bounce between roles in the US and the roles in Australia. So, I've got to...
I was about to say the same thing. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff internationally that we do. We have to change from our customized with a Z to an S, and we're all over the shop. So, it's something to pick up, but it's not that important, because we're in so many locations globally. You have to really think about it where you are.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's very funny.
Steve is saying, I love this event simply because it has potential to be shortest event ever. Is AI rejecting you? No, next. I guess what?
Steve.
Hey, Steve. We love you, Steve.
We do, Steve. Very active on the old social media. Look, it's oh my God. It could be the shortest ever if AI is rejecting you, but look, I don't know. That's pretty funny, Steve. This could be very short, but there is a lot involved in it. So it could reject you, but if it doesn't, it's probably because you've done something right with your CV, or you've identified all those skills that need to be identified by the AI to get there. But a recruiter can reject you just as fast. I've seen it before, where they look at it and go, no, that's not why, So,
Absolutely.
yeah, very interesting. Good comments.
And this kind of rejection's not new. This isn't AI. I mean, we mentioned earlier, there've been, qualifying questions in the past around location. It could be around absolutely. And in all honesty, and I'll say, I'm transitioning platforms at the moment. The one I have currently asks for your salary expectations, and I hate it. And I won't be doing that moving forward, but something that I've inherited. But that can be a pre-screening qualification question. ATSs have automatically rejected people for a very long time, right? So this isn't anything new, and you may receive a rejection that has absolutely nothing to do with AI, but you'll think it's to do with AI just because we're in 2025. Yeah.
And, I just want to probably add one thing, and I'm talking about it probably every Wednesday. It comes in every my live stream that, still, especially I think in Australia, nothing works as good as referrals. If someone can vouch for you, it doesn't matter what, how many keywords you put in your resume. And especially I'm recruiting in enterprise architecture, and to be good enterprise architect, you probably been around for 15 years. Yeah, you didn't graduate and just suddenly become enterprise architect. And in your 15 years experience, if no one can vouch for you, that's basically the question mark. It would be at least one person there who give you recommendation or recommend you to the job and things like that. And coming back to is AI can reject that? No, AI not gonna reject if there is another human say I work with Edan, he's great, he did a great job.
And ATS will flag that you're a referral as well, if you've gone through a referral process. I think, Jana, it is fabulous advice. And I think it's probably, for me, something that I'm really glad that we've touched on this, because we weren't necessarily intending to. I think if you know someone within an organization that you're applying for, outside of government, not-for-profit, they're also probably more than likely in the corporate world going to get, a referral for actually submitting you through a referral process. They'll receive a referral bonus. I will tell you, in my entire career, there has never been a referred candidate that I haven't thoroughly read their CV and thoroughly considered whether I would at least phone screen, video screen. Never. If it's a referral, I will have respect for the internal team member, and I will spend time on that application. I have to say they're probably the ones that I go to first.
Yeah,
when I'm going.
Yeah, we do the same, Edan. We highly push that in the business. We believe in our own people, right? We've hired the staff we have in our business because they are quality and they are of the right culture, and they do a great job and they're excelling and all the rest of it. So good people know good people. So why would you not consider, or at least look at the CV that they're recommending? I will say many times, they may not still be the right person for the role, right? But the fact that off the back of that, that's definitely someone to put on the database and say, hey, this is coming from a referral here. When a role comes up, I think we should investigate this again or look at this person again. It happens a lot. We don't put anybody on our ATS unless we've actually communicated with them. So no one goes in there, and even if it's a referral, we have to speak with them. Like to your point, Edan, it may be just another bit of communication where you got a little bit more explanation than what the referrer is giving of their experience. So it's really big, and it is a massive piece in Fonterra. We're really big on it. Can't support people enough who know good people.
Classic Vineet. I love
great comment.
Love it. We're exempt. HR people are exempt, I'll let you know, audience. But I will say it doesn't necessarily mean, to Marrin's point, it doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have a greater chance of being hired. There are a lot of factors involved in a selection process, and we need to avoid always hiring, the same types of people, and that can happen if you only hire referrals, right? You will still go through a a very thorough recruitment process, and there are a lot of different things at play. But what we're saying here is, if you are referred, our eyes will be on your profile. We will read it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty important to remember too. Oh yeah, go for it. All good.
Yeah, we're 45 minutes into our conversation. So guys, I think it's kind of time to start wrapping up. I think that like kind of the last question I want to ask you, what is your sort of predictions, let's say for this year? Yeah, this year just started. It's already been interesting. So many things been happening just in the January. So many changes. So what do you think? What's your kind of prediction for this year? Are we heading towards fully automated hiring decisions? Like, are we like, every month, trust the AI sort of decisions more and more? And do you feel like, by the end of the year, we will see more of that AI rejections and AI making hiring decisions? Or you still feel like that, it's always go to human and always go to this human interaction? Like, what's your prediction for this year?
This year,
you
go, Marrin.
That's a big question. Have we got another 45? Because this could take a while.
1 minute, 1 minute.
All right. Okay. So prediction-wise, I can see that the AI tech is going to get greater on pushing the AI value of human interaction. And the reason why I say that is that at the moment, ATSs may be rejecting you or hiring you or ranking you or putting you through. But I think what's going to happen with the tech, and I've seen a lot of tech that's coming out, where now that you'll be able to use AI to get a better bit more personal interaction with the recruiters, or a bit more connection with the company. And that's the way the tech is going to push. And yes, we're still going to need to have human interaction. Yes, it's not going to be automated. It's not going to be the whole way through. It can't. There's no way I can understand someone's comms or behavioral or their culture fit without speaking to them, right? So, but however, there will be new tech you guys will see that'll come into the industry that will make it a lot easier for you to be more human and understand how human is the recruiter or the company on the other end as well. I think it's going to be two-way, which I think is really exciting.
Yeah, there's not much more I can add to that, in all honesty. I just think you're going to see, my advice for job seekers, you're going to see AI incorporated into interviewing. I already am, and I'm not an early adopter of AI. You'll see just little things that may be AI note takers. You may also this year, and these products are out there, you may also have your first Zoom screening call with AI and not a human, right? And, it's getting comfortable with that. It won't necessarily feel like AI. There's even platforms out there that, it could feel as if you are on Zoom and interviewing with me, even though you're not, right? That these things are evolving and coming. I think, it's embracing AI is really important, because you're going to see more and more of it. But make sure you're bringing yourself and bringing your human skills to the forefront. I know this is a technology audience, and your tech skills are primarily what makes you successful, because you're incredibly talented people with incredible skills. Just lift those human skills and lift those motivations, your purpose, connection, all of that kind of stuff we're talking about. But I don't know where we're going to be in 12 months. I didn't think we would be here 12 months ago, right? Like, I think we all just need to be comfortable with the uncomfortable, whether we're recruiters or job seekers, right? This is going pretty fast.
Every time new tech comes out, we're all back at square one. Remember that. Right. Every time we're all at square one. We're all trying to learn what the hell this new bit of tech is going to do now. So no one's alone in this. You could pick it up tomorrow, and you're on par with all of us. So it's going to be a great ride, though. I think tech is going to be good, guys, and invest in yourself, invest and develop in yourself to learn about it and grow about it, because there's going to be new positions come out of AI that we are not even aware of yet. So, really invest your time to get in and know it.
Perfect. And also, we had a discussion at the end of last year about, is AI ready to replace recruiters? I also recommend to watch this one if you're interested in this topic, because Bob and Julian, they're actually developing those products where AI is actually interviewing people. So if you're interested more on this topic, just check out that live stream as well. And sorry if we didn't have time to answer all these questions. There's a lot of questions coming through chat, but we are running out of time, and it's the most exciting part of this stream, the giveaway. So I'll make the announcement for next week and give our speakers chance to scroll through the comments and choose the one person they're going to have a virtual coffee chat with. And so maybe it's a person that we haven't had a chance to answer their question, or maybe you really like their particular question. So I'll let you do that, scroll through the comments and choose the person for the virtual coffee chat. And next week, 12th of February, we're going to talk with Ben, and Ben going to talk us through about how to get a tech job in government in Australia. And Edan even mentioned today there's some rules about, the stricter rules when you're in government. Obviously, the simple rules that you actually have to be a citizen, and it's not AI rejecting your application. That's just the rule that no one can change. So Ben is actually going to talk us through, the specifics of government jobs and how to approach it, and what's the best way to apply for those. Also, the next Tech Walking is up. If you're in Melbourne, then the 23rd of February, we're gonna meet for another face-to-face event and go for a walk around Albert Park in Lake. It was a great event a few weeks ago. Over 60 people rock up, so it's a great chance to network with people. And I'm actually trying to bring the Tech Walking to other locations as well, so stay tuned. Anyway, so Edan, have you chosen the person for the virtual coffee chat?
Oh, do I have to pick someone?
Yes, that was it all about.
We thought we could do it later.
But I'm going to say the person that's been really engaged, and he's also a Movember supporter, and he was asking about Movember in-person events. We still do them, by the way, but James, because we can nerd out about Movember, and also, so James Custos, there we go.
Perfect. And Marrin, who are you going to have a virtual coffee chat with?
I'd love to choose Steve, but I'm not going to go there, Steve, because because I know that we just end up just spagging about the wrong thing. But I think Rahul is it Khatri has put a few comments there, which I like, about the companies ensuring that AI-driven processes remain fair. I'd love to have a copy over that and explore that a little bit more. And if you've got anything else you want to ask as well, Rahul, I'm more than be happy to.
Perfect. I'll make sure to connect you guys on LinkedIn if you haven't yet. And obviously, thank you everyone for joining us tonight. I know that it's a limited time, and we not always have time to answer all the questions live. But also, guys, I'm thinking to maybe introduce some sort of close community as well, where we can actually take these conversations further. So whoever is following me for a while, stay tuned. So I'm definitely thinking about having a few more like extra session and membership and Q&A session, closed Q&A sessions, especially for those who are new to Australia, because there's questions coming up again and again and again. And I think we're probably going to make like a closed group for those who just recently moved and looking for the tech job, because everyone going through the same hurdles and the same, you don't have anyone to refer you, you don't have this local experience, where is the chicken, where is the egg. So definitely planning to organize some close community for these questions as well. So stay tuned. And again, thank you so much, guys, for spending this hour with me. That's been great. Thank you for joining me.
It was amazing. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. It's been awesome, Jana, and thank you everyone with your comments. They've been great. Thank you.
Amazing.
Yeah. And comments there on LinkedIn. So, if we miss something, I'll try to write some answers on LinkedIn and YouTube as well. Thank you, everyone, for joining, and see you next Wednesday.
See you. Thank you.
Thank you.